All right, peace, love, health, and wealth, our tribe. Like and subscribe. Help your boy break away from that 9 to 5. We're gonna get this thing started in 1 second, y'all. 1 second. I just want to clean a couple things up in the title and whatnot. All right. So if you can hear me, make sure y'all spam those hearts. Ooh, I forgot to do. See, I couldn't do all of this. Cut. See, actually, I don't want to do that. All right, so I do need a description, though. I do need that. Yo, 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 what up, what up, what up? I need to know, can you hear me? All right, can you hear me loud and clear if I talk like this? So, yeah, just take a second, spam those hearts. I got a couple things I got to do. They wouldn't let me in, so now that I'm finally in, I just want to knock out these things, add it to the right playlist. Removing manifestation blockages done. Actually, I got to make this video private and then make it unprivate. To be honest with you, so I can get that algorithm play. Everything else should be good. All right. So, normally when I do these episodes, I drop the link for people to come up and talk if they want to. So, let me make it private first. Save. Now it's private. Now it's members only. Now it's public. All right. So now it's public. Let me delete this one. Delete forever. All right. I just want to grab where my headphones at because I don't like. For some reason, I want to grab my headphones. Ooh, ooh. I just want to beat the ma. I ain't talking violence. Let me get my kit. Yeah, because I've been working hard. I deserve the kit on this one. Yeah, let me go ahead and get that kit. Yeah, what's up? What's up? Did y'all share this live? Did y'all let everybody know that we was putting in some real work today? Now, I'm gonna let y'all know. All right, I just put the headphones in, so let me know if y'all can hear me. I am messing up. I didn't kick myself off the live. All right, there we go. Can y'all see the screen? Matter of fact, let me get off of here because I am not important. Yeah. Yo, what up? What up? What up? I see we got a couple people coming in. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, donate to reciprocate. Everything that you donate goes directly to food, shelter, and water. Audio, default microphone. Ooh. I just want to beat Lamar. Ain't talking violence. Hey, I was rocking with that song until young boy said he gon' in it and then pull it out and then go down and eat it like she spit on him or something. He said, I don't know what he said. I was like, he nasty now. He sound like Diddy talking about something. He gon' in it and then go down and All right, so this is a all right. This is a family show. This is a family show. Ooh. Let me get in the chat. Let me get in the chat. Let me get in the chat. All right. Where my bill at? You can ring my bells. Ring my bells. Ring my bells. Ring a ling a ling. All right. I'm in the chat too. Yeah, I'm in the chat. So what? I'm in the chat. So what? Hey, so I didn't copy it. All right, where the bill at? All right, peace, love, health, and well vibe, tribe. Like and subscribe. Help your boy break away from that 9 to 5. My name is not important, but what is the fact that I'm here on behalf of Sacred Self Healing Center with a heart. It's the Center for Healing. Here in today's episode, the much anticipated, long overdue, uh, the highly anticipated, long overdue part one, right? Because this is going to be a multiple part episode. Okay. So we are again here looking at removing manifestation blockages. Um, are you an energetic match for what you want? Now, the reason why I felt like this episode was important was because along my journey, especially back in November, right? I'm gonna be totally authentic with y'all. Especially back in November, right? I was manifesting some things kind of out of order. And so it made me really look at myself and say, how can I be focused on this when this is not right? You understand what I'm saying? And so that's kind of always been in the back of my head because it's like, you know, I always preach this stuff online, right? About, being positive, positive thinking, positive affirmations, right? I always talk about it, but deep down on the inside, I'm still suffering on the inside, right? I've been suffering. I ain't gonna say I'm still, but I've been suffering, and and I realized a lot of the suffering came from late at night or when I'm all alone. There's little voices in my head, right? That always say, well, if you do this, then this will happen. Well, if you do this, they're gonna rob you. If you do this, they're gonna kill you. If you do this, then this gonna happen. Well, what if this happened? And what if they don't believe you? And what if they don't see you the way you want them to see you in? And deep down inside, you know, I realized like
I've been manifesting the channel. The channel was growing. Like I'm getting all of these things in alignment, but it was still, like I said, some things that was out of whack. It was very much so out of whack. So it made me really, really want to address that little devil on my shoulder. And the crazy part is that I didn't go deaf, right, with this little devil on my shoulder. But what happened was, um, I was so used to that look. No, 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 no. Please go. Please, bye. Bye. Go. 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 So, um, the little devil on my shoulder, right? So I didn't go deaf. I didn't tune him out. But what happened was, mm, ooh, ooh. But what happened was, I was so used to living with him that I didn't realize that he was a problem. I didn't realize that he was stealing all of my joy. I didn't realize that I had a direct blockage to my manifestations. And it came because I didn't, mm, you can, but because it ain't even been 2 hours yet. I don't think. But it's bedtime though, so. But where I was at with my story, yeah. So this little voice in my head, always telling me every time I come up with an idea, this little voice in my head telling me, oh, all these reasons why. I'm sorry for chewing so loud, y'all. This candy good. I ain't even gonna lie. But I always got this little voice in my head telling me why I can't achieve something. Why can't I do nothing? Right? And it started making me wonder about myself. Yeah, I got all these manifestations and I'm helping all these people and I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but it's a lot of things that's out of whack. So, um of course, since then, I had a couple episodes of removing manifestation blockages, and they've been pretty decent. Make sure y'all go back and check those episodes out. But man, where's that peppermint? Hold on 1 second, y'all. I just want to beat my mom. That nigga NBA young boy is so nasty. Okay, we back. But ever since then I've had a couple episodes of removing manifestation blockages. And as of recently, I've been seeing a theme with a particular uh not only with myself, right? But I'm starting to see it reverberate in the people that I'm helping. And so I want to make this a bigger the reasoning behind this is way bigger than just me reminding myself about some things that I forgot, right? And some of the information we're gonna go over, hopefully I delivered it in a very cool and fun way, but hopefully this information is gonna help somebody for real. Because if you ever been through any traumatic experiences, it is very easy for you to slip back into la la land. Not saying that you're crazy, not saying you're delusional, but escaping very traumatic experiences is a coping mechanism for the brain because you can't consciously process whether your emotions are going to make you short circuit or what, but you can't possibly um sometimes you can't, sometimes your conscious mind can't process things, and so we put it on the back burner. And then the older we get, the more we continuously put things on the back burner, the easier it be, right? I was watching this podcast and recently, and they was talking about one of the most beautiful things you can do as far as keeping your own sanity is a couple things. Well, no, he said one thing in particular that I want to focus on. He said having the mantra of I didn't do it, I don't remember, it didn't happen. It's the best way for you to kill the neural pathways of a traumatic event. Okay, whether you feeling guilty about something or whatever the case is, I didn't do it, I don't remember, it didn't happen. And it's funny because I grew up around people like that who they can do something, say something, and then 5 minutes later they act like nothing ever happened. Or like my mom, for example. My mom, the only thing she ever said as far as quote unquote accepting accountability was, I'm just doing the best I can, I'm only doing what I know. Right. And I respect that realness, right? I kind of do respect the realness, but if you able to say that, then I know deep, deep, deep down inside, there's another level of you that for some reason isn't being shown. Right. And so, like I said before, my heart definitely go out to all of the women out here, man. And some of my past actions, might not think, you might not think that, I'm a respectful young man or anything like that, but it's a reason for everything. I'll say that, right? Um, but yeah, hopefully I laid everything out. Do we got any questions, comments, concerns before we actually get this thing started? Do anybody need to use the bathroom? Do anybody need to go get a notebook, an ink pen, something? And I will have a follow up with this tomorrow. I got a couple announcements to make at the end of this. Ooh, did I include? I don't think I included it in the slides. Well, I'll make the announcements tomorrow. So y'all make sure y'all be on the lookout for some announcements relating to this live and this subject tomorrow, okay? Because like we gonna make this fully immersive. It's not going to be just a one and out. You know what I'm saying? Like we're going to take these teachings, these learnings, these whatevers, and we're going to make the most out of them. Right. So can I get a quick show of hands how many people we have in the stage on the stage that's I mean not on the stage, I'm reading the screen, show comments on stage. You got to do the 10-10 without the thing in the middle. But do we have anybody here with any questions, comments, concerns before we get started? Now, I don't have a super duper lot of slides. It's not going to be like a 90 episode slide. All right, so whoever that third person is in the background, just to let you know that if you here for drama or anything like that, this is not the place, okay? Now, if you just don't want to show yourself and just hang out, that's perfectly fine. But people is going back and reporting my live. People is going back and reporting what I say to other people, and they still commenting and all that stuff. So understand if you come here, we focus on growth and healing. Once I defend myself, I'm done. It ain't even no use for me to keep going once I defend myself. So I just want to go ahead and throw that out there just in case if somebody was hoping to feed off some negativity like a vampire. We ain't doing that here. All right, we is not doing that here. So I don't know if a commercial just played, but the numbers just went down from 3 to 1. So I don't know if like because sometimes commercials don't always play for everybody at one time. You know what I'm saying? All right, so y'all two here, but it says there's only one person here, so the numbers is out of whack. Okay, cool. That's cool. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing started. Where's my mouse at? Let's go ahead and get this thing started the right way. All right. So removing manifestation blockages, episode 5. Are you a are you an energetic match for what you want? All right, let me make this full screen so I can see it. I want to sit back and relax while I do this. All right. So we got the welcome and the introduction screen. All right. So it says, welcome. You just stepped into a sacred space where science meets spirit. Let's activate your manifestation system and then step boldly into the reality that you've been waiting. The reality that's been waiting for you. I'm sorry, I was about to say it the other way around. The reality that's waiting on you to rise. So, for all of those whoever suffered like me, where you doubt yourself, you doubt if the manifestation's working, or you wonder if certain things ain't coming because it's not an energetic match to you or something like that. Well, here I'm gonna have multiple, and I repeat, multiple different references to um being in specific being an energetic match to what you want, right? So here we have a quote from Oprah. It says, "You attract what you are, not what you want. If you want great, be great." If you want great, be great. Remember what I always tell y'all. My gurus say, if you want to be happy, you have to be happy on your way to happy. Meaning that it starts, spirit works from the inside out, not the outside in. All right. So the body is much like a power plant, right? So if you don't know, the role of a power plant is to generate. Oh wait, I'm messing up. All right, my bad. The role of a power plant is to generate and distribute energy. All right, that's pretty simple, right? We don't need no big words for that, right? We all know that you take coal, hydrodynamics, thermal nuclear energy, and we convert it to useful energy, right? So let's look at some of the comparisons between the body and the a power plant. All right. So we have the mind, which is the central processing unit of the body, right? So here the analogy is the control room in which we direct intention, right? No matter if the intention is for us to heal, relax, chill, whatever, it all comes from the mind first. All right. So I ain't even gonna lie, these is the wrong slides. That's why I was looking. I can't believe it. But anyways, it's okay. It's okay. So here we have the heart, right? The heart would be considered the main turbine, right? So this is where the power plant produces literally the energy, meaning you take it and then it gets the flowing, right? This is where it garner up speed. So intentions is the generator of the energy. It sets the purpose of output. So in a power plant, what we would do is we would send, voltages, this amount of electricity here, this amount of electricity there, this amount of electricity here, this amount of electricity there, right? And I'm gonna get ahead of myself a little bit, but understand when your attentions, amongst other things, are out of whack, your manifestations are going to be out of whack. Okay. So your emotions is what garners the voltage output. All right. So this is when they tell you tap into uh what is that called? Being grateful, tap into gratitude, all of that stuff, because certain emotions amplify your electromagnetic what is the word, frequencies, right? I don't, for lack of a better term. So um if you understand anything about tantra or any other schools of thought, you understand the fact that normal, even keel people very rarely ever manifest what they want, right? Some people teach that you got to get angry for things to move, or some people teach that you got to be joyful and happy, right? But one thing that's very important is the conductivity of the human, right? And it's mostly based off of how you feel, especially when your brain isn't in tune with your intentions, right? You can say I want something, right? But that don't mean nothing. But the moment you feel like you need it, for an example, then we get the juices flowing. All right. So actions. All right. So this is you taking action. This is purposeful movement that we talking about right here, okay? So in this purposeful movement, the analogy is the power lines, okay? It carries the manifestation forward. And then last but not least, we got the nervous system, okay? So this is the circuit board, okay? It conducts inner energetic flow, okay? So again, if you always stressed, if you always um not in agreement, right? If your mind and your heart doesn't have a agreement, and if you always in a chronic stress state, a chronic depressed state, uh, these things can cause your circuits to short. Okay, it could cause the energy to be sporadic, undirected, uncentralized, and yeah, it just makes for a bad day, right? So before we move forward, I want to hit the next slide. Wait, let me make sure I ain't forget nothing, because these is the wrong, I'm not even gonna lie, this is the wrong chart for this slide. This was a different version of it, but it's all good though. It's all good. Okay, nervous system, circuit board. Was there anything else I wanted to mention about the circuit board? mm, Again, the separation between heart and the mind, body, the mind, the brain, heart, the separation between the mind and the heart, and being in a chronically depressed or stressed state and not having the mental aspect behind your intentions would definitely draw in things that you don't want. Okay, so let's move forward. So, intentions and neuroscience behind manifestation. All right. So not only is intentions important, but the science behind intentions is very important. And the reason why you might be hindered in your manifestations is because of some of these things that we speaking about right now. Right. So number one, we have what's called the RAS, or the reticular activation system. Okay, so this is a little part in the back of your brain, right? It is in a couple, it encompasses a couple different areas of the body. I mean, areas of the brain, but like the hippocampus and stuff like that, right, is back there. So the reticular activation system filters our reality. All right. And what it does is it focuses attention on aligned data. All right. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Um, have you ever got a new car, a new shoe, a new outfit, something new, right? And then every time you turn around after you got that new thing, You see it everywhere. Like, say for example, you see a new car, right? You like, I want that car. Then every single time you turn around after that, you see that car, right? So that's the reticular activation system working, right? So it's a couple parts that go along with that. For one, you are electromagnetically pulling things towards you, right? That is a fact. But also what's going on is because now that car probably hit you in the heart or whatever, now you can't help but to see the car amongst other cars, right? Or a pair of shoes. It works for you ever, these shoes, you've never seen these shoes before ever. Maybe you've seen them once or twice, but then as soon as you get them, it's like everybody got them. You like, dang, did they go on sale after I get them or something? So so mm, no, I'm gonna say that for part two. All right, I'm gonna say that for part two. So again, whatever information that you deem to be important, all right, the reticular activation system is going to focus on that. So it's kind of like your YouTube algorithm. Whatever you search for, whatever you watch, the algorithm is going to give you more of it. Well, we already got that built in, right? And this is right here with the reticular activation system. All right. So number two, mirror neurons. They mimic energy, synchronizes with high vibe models. So what that means is the dominant energy wins. High vibe doesn't mean positive or negative, right? Uh Mimics energy. So if you don't know, mirror neurons are neurons that sit right in the forehead, right? And their job is to send and receive vibrations back and forth, period. Just kind of like if you ever saw an example of electric self-driving car, and it looked like they sending little wi-fi signals back and forth between the cars. Well, the mirror neurons do that. So whatever you thinking, whatever you feeling, et cetera, um the mirror neurons is responsible for translating those to the people in your environment. This is why people can say that the air is thick and stuff like that. Is That's because it's beaming off your neurons, all right, your mirror neurons. All right. So another important concept here in neuroscience is neuroplasticity, brain rewiring. Repetition of intention changes pathways. Boom. I can really stop all of this right here. To be honest with you, I don't even know. I don't even know if y'all really catching on, right? So when you're talking about being an energetic match for what you want, right? One thing that I probably didn't get in these slides was your resonant. No, you know what? It's right there, default mode network. All right, so I'm getting ahead of myself. Um, Neuroplasticity, brain rewiring. So what's going on here? The little insight behind neuroplasticity is our brains is always creating new brain cells. Okay, this is why they say we only use 10% of our brain, because every time we use a piece of our brain, we grow another piece to compensate it, so we can never be um our brain can never be full. But you might say, KP, what about me? I'm forgetful all the time. I don't smoke, I don't drink, and I can't even remember my name, right? Well, sometimes when you go through traumatic experiences, for example, um certain areas of the brain tend to shrink. So maybe you might have blockages from trauma, or maybe if you have and I know a lot of people tell me they have a hard time tapping into gratitude, tapping into forgiveness, tapping into just generally being happy, right? Well, that's because the you need to rebuild neuroplasticity. Okay. um how can I tiptoe around this without going too deep? I'm gonna just move on, okay? Dopamine pathways, motivation loop, intention triggers reward system. Okay, so when you're talking about dopamine pathways, this is when you feel rewarded for doing something good, right? Um, Serotonin is the get up and want to achieve hormone. Dopamine is the I'm relaxed hormone. Okay, so again, when you're talking about rewiring the brain, one thing that we need to put an emphasis on when we rewiring the brain, especially when we using things like positive affirmations and stuff like that, we need to be able to create an environment of happiness. Okay, this is why we have like incense, crystals, your favorite this, your favorite that. Whenever you go into meditation, if you notice, a lot of people, especially in beginners, they want you to play your happy music, get you a candle. What they doing is they overloading the senses so you can shut down the conscious mind and then connect to the subconscious directly. Okay. And sometimes it's hard to tap into the subconscious when, as soon as you cross through the gates, you are met with PTSD, sadness, traumatic experiences, thoughts, smells, taste, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Um, Rebuilding these dopamine pathways is very, very important. One thing that I learned that helped me with rebuilding the dopamine pathways was exercising. After I quit drinking, exercising and drinking smoothies every single day. This is the idea behind replacing old bad habits with new habits, right? The dopamine pathway to give you the pleasure. What happened was that not only was my body happy for doing things that made it better, but consciously I knew that exercising and drinking smoothies was something good for me, and I intentionally tapped into gratitude for myself, but pride, all of that stuff, to create the internal environment of peace, love, health, and wealth, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so somatic mark, oh man, this what I forgot. Somatic markers, emotional memory, body stores intention based emotions. So give me 1 second. I do feel like it's important for me to define somatic real fast. So it's hard to define this word, and I didn't take no notes. I'm not going to try to define this off the top of my head. Relating to affecting the body, especially distinguished from somatic. Well, I know we got a couple smart people here. I haven't checked the chat in a minute either, right? Somatic markers. Let me see. Stations. Reactions associated with emotions that influence decision making. Somatic markers. Somatic markers are the physical changes in the body, heart rate, sweating, etc., and brain, including but not limited to hormone release, that accompany emotional states. Um, Somatic markers are bodily sensations and reactions associated with emotional experiences that influence decision making. Um, so really quick, right? Um, the definition of psychology in general is to understand why a behavior happened, right? So, in general, it is believed that every behavior, whether conscious or unconscious, is based in some sort of reward. Okay. Um, somatic markers. Um, hmm, somatic markers is what is the reason why we react to the things that we do how we do. I don't know if that makes sense. Somatic markers is the reason why we react to the thing. I said it right the first time. The reason why we react to the things the way we do. Um, I know people talk a lot about Akashic records, this and this one and that one, but uh, the truth is, all of the memory of your ancestors is stored physically in your body. Emotions, everything they ate, drink, everything is stored in you. Um, this is why tapping into the DNA, raising the DNA, all of that stuff is very important because um we can have subconscious behaviors rooted in many things that we have no clue about. So when we say the body stores intention based emotions, we all have a particular emotion that we tap into when we feel motivated to perform a task. Um, directly correlated with neuroplasticity, the dopamine pathways and stuff like that. The somatic markers are the little connections in between the ganglia cells, et cetera, et cetera. So when you talking about tapping in to a particular spirit, you're literally tapping into your DNA, your cells. And it's a lot of stuff associated with that, but I also want to save a lot of this stuff for another episode because we got so many slides to, well, not so many, but we got a couple more slides to go through. All right, so default mode network, self identity, intentions rewrite internal narrative. So this is where the cliche term your vibe or your frequency, this is the science behind the vibe and the frequency, right? I like to explain this as whatever or wherever you frequent, that's your frequency, right? If I go to the bar and I get drunk every day, somebody's going to call me a drunk. If I get angry and punch trees all the day, somebody's going to call me stupid, or so, you know what I'm saying, somebody's going to say that I have an anger problem. Okay, so whether or not your self identity is influenced by outside forces or inside forces, what matters is it's how you identify. Okay, so when you really tap into the intentions, it's more than just you say it 100 times and it come true in 3 days, or you say north, east, southwest, etc., etc. Um, rites and rituals is meant to rebuild rites and rituals, even the ones that you go to on Saturday at mass or Sunday, right? All of these rites and rituals is meant to rebuild basically every single thing that we do that we just read here. Um again, when I was talking about the things I identified with, I didn't know that I identified with a victim, or I didn't know that my resident frequency was I'll never be able to achieve, because it took me my whole life essentially, right, up to this point, to basically realize that even though I wasn't necessarily saying that I was these things, I was powerless to fight against the negativity that was in my head. So I would at best be 50-50 with the negativity in my head, right? And so by default it wins, because remember what I said up there earlier, um the dominant energy wins every single time. So when you talking about having hot and cold water, right, unless one temperature is way more extreme, or you have a significantly amount of volume of water on one particular side of the scale, when you mix them, they're going to be the same, right? But if you have one of those conditions, then the dominant energy is going to win every single time. If you got a tub full of hot water, what is you going to do with 1 cup of cold water? Yeah, it might raise the temp, like might lower the temperature a little bit, but it's not really going to do much. So even though, you know, I spent time helping other people, even spent time myself chanting, praying, all of this stuff, all of it meant nothing, because when I laid down and went to sleep, I went to sleep as a coward. I went to sleep as a failure. I went to sleep as never going to achieve. I went to sleep as they going to do this if I do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I was doing was, when I was falling asleep with those negativities, with the sad, with the depression, with the PTSD, I was priming my reticular activation system, right, to bring more of the things that I didn't want. The problem was the fact that I was focused on the wrong things. And when I would recognize it, at best I would just neutralize it. So looking at somatic markers, I wonder if I received dopamine from being sad, like, because it was something that was normal. It was so normal for me to be depressed that I wonder if I got pleasure from it and didn't even know it. Because remember, when you're talking about somatic markers, it's the emotional side of you that make you tick, right? So I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on because I've been talking too long. All right, so we're gonna end this slide with a quote from Albert Einstein, one of the most famous autodidactic scientists in the world. All right, everything is energy, always sending and receiving, and that's all there is to it. I wish I could have got the date for this. Like, you don't even know, man. This stuff been common knowledge for a very, 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 very long time. Very, 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 very long time. All right. All right. So can we, Nightbot, can we go to the next slide, please? All right, we almost home, y'all. We almost home. So, like I said, what you mean, man? Oh man, what's wrong? What's wrong? You all right? All right. So All right, my bad about that. So, like I was saying, when we talking about um intentions, right? Being an energetic match for what you want. This is not a concept that is new. First of all, it's not new, and it's not something that's only for scientists or for the common man or for rich people, right? You just got to know where to look, right? So what I did was I found a couple references to some of the major from the major religions, right? To prove that this stuff been right under your nose, in your face, behind your back this whole time, and you didn't even know it. Oh, we is cold. Hold on 1 second. Let me turn this air off. All right, I'm back. I had to cut off the air. Okay, cool. Cool. Hopefully we learning something. Because I'm like I said, I don't want to do too much because I wanna, I want to spread this out a little bit. But all right, Christianity. All right. Mark chapter 11, verse 24. So what things sober ye desire when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall receive them. I messed up these slides. I did it, but I wanted to get this done. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. So we're gonna keep it rolling. We're gonna keep it rolling. So Proverbs 23:7. For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. All right. In Islam, in the Quran 2:186, this is God talking, or Allah, right? He says, I respond to the prayer of every suppliant when he calleth on me. I respond to every I respond to the prayer of every suppliant, right? So what he's saying is that there ain't no conditions when you pray for God. When you pray to God, ain't no conditions. This is what he's saying. So whoever supplies the prayer, you will receive, right? Quran 13:11. Allah will not change the condition of people until they change what is in themselves. So what he's saying is that spirit work from the inside out, not the outside in. Right? You got to be happy on your way to happy. In the Bhagavad Gita, let a man lift himself by his own self alone. So don't rely on me. Don't rely on such and such. I just did. Yeah, I'm in it. All right. Um, let a man lift himself by him own self alone. Right. This is saying that it's got to come from within you. You, whatever you want to be, and the strength that you need, you got to find it within you first. In Buddhism, the Dhammapada 1:1, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. I don't even need to touch that one. Let's continue. Your thoughts become things. Rhonda Bryan. I definitely got to come back with part two, man. I definitely got to come back with part two. All right. Metaphysical. Okay, so wait for 1 second. This is for everybody who, that probably got lost with the religious stuff. Like, nah, KP, we don't, we don't do that. We don't like religion. Them people, they use us for money. Y'all know how so I got a little bit of something for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Hold on now. Just slow down just a little bit now, because I know A couple people who might be watching this on the replay be like, man, I don't know, man. This dude, man, he sound all right, probably a little fried, but he's starting to lose me with this religious stuff. Boom, got something for you right here. So we got teaching, doctrine, and intentions role. All right. So the Kabbalion, all right, and the Kabbalion, it's a book. Read it. Audiobooks everywhere, right? Principle of mentalism. Mind and attention shapes all reality. All right. I believe that is the first principle in that book. Hermeticism, law of correspondence. Well, wait, whoa. Well, just to let you know, the Kabbalion is a part of Hermeticism. All right. So that's my mistake. All right. Law of correspondence, inner thought, outer reality, right? That's another principle. It's seven different principles in the Kabbalion, all right? And in the law of correspondence, of course, is found in many places, but you can find it in the Kabbalion as well. All right. So there's a teaching called the New Thought. I guess that's like the New Age or something like that. And the doctrine is called Divine Mind. Okay. So in the Divine Mind, they believe that consciousness equals intention and intention equals creation. All right. Simple. Right. That's 1 + 1 = 2. Right. In the Kabbalah, that's Jewish mysticism. So this is kind of like the stuff that's kind of like hid and that's not taught all the time, right? The tarot cards is based off of the Kabbalah. Okay, they like the flash cards literally for the Kabbalah. Okay, so if all y'all who love y'all tarot cards and stuff like that, y'all might be ready to go. Go. So Kabbalah, right? Keter in the Tree of Life. All right. So, and it believe in a I'm sorry. The tree of life itself is the map of consciousness. I almost got ahead of myself, okay? So the different sephiras or the different circles on the tree of life shows the different um I guess you could say neural pathways, right? But it shows the different routes that the energy or the light or the intention goes through, right? As it manifests in the third dimension. So they actually teach manifestation in the Jewish teachings, right? I mean, I guess they teach it in a lot of places. I mean, in a lot of different religions and stuff like that. But some places it's harder to get, or other it's not so in your face. I'll say that. So theosophy, right? Thought forms. All right. So these people believe that thoughts are forms, right? This is where you get the ideas of like egregores and servitors, uh uh what is those words called, familiars. These people believe that that your thoughts and your attentions literally are birthed and they take a mind of their own, and they literally walk the planet, like they can inhabit people, etc., etc., etc. Like this is, and I'm trying to look up the date, but the Theosophical Society, a key organization in theosophy, was founded in 1875 in New York. um Oh, I didn't know by Madam. Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna get deep into that. But yeah, though. So 1882. Let me see. Theosophy start date. I guess. Oh, so I guess it's coined 1875, and then in 1882, the headquarters of the society was established. Okay, all right, Madam Blavatsky. Shout out to Madam Blavatsky, right? She was a pioneer, man, back in the day because there wasn't a lot of women and females who was really into, occult and stuff like that. So, so I just say this to say, like in theosophy, man, it's people, all of this stuff, right? All of this stuff is different. It's different for everybody, right? But it's all the same at the end of the day. The words might be different, the terminology, all of that stuff might be different, but it's the same, right? It's all the same, right? So Albert Einstein, imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Imagination, right? Being able to visualize, being able to imagine. All right. So let's look at a couple habits that could block our manifestations, okay? So first we're going to look at the habit, and then we're going to look at how it relates to us being a power plant, and then we're going to look at it in a neurological sense, okay? So operating with doubt, okay? So what doubt does, it shorts the generator. All right. So it having doubt literally weakens the energy, or it lessens the amount of energy that you will create to get up and go do something, right? The serotonin weakens neural belief patterns. Okay. It weakens the neural belief patterns. All right. So belief again is a physical mental structure, right? We have what they call like the worship gene and all of that stuff, the God gene and all of that. They say that to be demeaning, but is we have a part of the brain that's set for belief, right? And it's it's very powerful. And when you go through things that cause you to doubt it, well, they don't use this word no more, it's retired, but it basically makes that part of the brain either stop growing or shrink, right? So complaining, right? And we all know complaining is basically just allowing yourself to go, right? You're not really in control, right? Because there's always going to be things that's going to trigger us. But if we just allow it to let us react how we're not supposed to react, then we're going to get clogged circuits, okay? So this strengthens the lack pathways. All right. So again, all of these thoughts and beliefs is associated with physical things in the body. All right. All of these concepts are physical in nature. So being inconsistent, right? One thing I will say is make sure y'all go back and watch the episode about procrastination. All right. Wink, wink. All right. Inconsistency. Inconsistency is a flickering current, right? And it disrupts intention and clarity. Intention clarity. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm adding words. It disrupts intention clarity. All right. So when you are not consistent with the things that you want, the things that you do, what you think and how you feel, um, this is going to cause your manifestations to be erratic and sporadic, right? This is going to cause you to not have long lasting relationships, whether that's with, business or romance or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? The first thing, you remember what they say, you got to show up for yourself first. This is reiterating that right here, right? So fear-based choices, all right? This is a surge burnout, activates survival brain. So have you ever been in a situation where you felt nervous and then you just and then you just went and did it? Well, sometimes that's not really healthy because you can possibly make a mistake that can be very costly, right? I know I do this a lot where even if I set my intentions, right, when I get in the real world, I still be a little bit nervous, right? I don't want to get ran over by a car. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll be a little bit nervous, right? And so what that does is it burns out any lust for the future. Right. And I don't mean lust like you want to have sex with the future, but it's almost like you don't want the future because you never, because every time you go, you always anticipating something negative. All right. Um, Negative self-talk. Whoo, this is the one right here. This is the one. All right. So negative self-talk causes a wiring malfunction. All right. It rewires low self-worth. Okay. So whenever I was praying, meditating, doing all this stuff, the moment I would get scared and the moment I would be fearful or I start having thoughts of lack or anything, what happened was the new neural pathways that I was building, they just went to the strong neural pathways that was around them. So you can have a thought and then change what you think and how you feel about the thought. And what it's going to do is it's going to build new neural pathways based off of the foundational one that you have already. Right. Um, that's like you could convince yourself that junk food is bad, right? To where you don't even have the urge no more to eat junk food. Oh, lack of clarity, low voltage, confuses energetic output. So when you don't have consistency, right? When you be back and forth between fear-based choices and negative self-talk, when you operating with fear, uncertainty, and doubt, um, your energy don't know where to go and what to do. And so this could leave you feeling like I want to do something, but I just don't know what to do. I want to eat, but I don't know what I want to eat. I want to go somewhere, but I just don't know where to go. Right? It's not like you don't want to, it's just you just don't know how. Well, that's a trauma response, right? Trauma response. Disconnection from spirit totally. All right. System shut down, cuts off source current. So this is where the Bible talks about the new covenant, where if you turn your back on me, then I'm going to turn my back on you. I ain't going to smite the whole world. When you disconnected from your wait, before I say that, my guru always say this, right? He say, it doesn't matter who's against you in this world, but once your own mind is against you, then you lost. It's over. Um, a lot of us is totally disconnected from. If we want to interchange this word for another word, a lot of us is disconnected from the positive aspect of ourself, the I can and I will. A lot of us is disconnected from shit, happiness, right? Love. A lot of us can't feel love. A lot of us want to buy things for people. A lot of people want people to buy things for them or to do certain things to prove that they love. But that proof comes because you can't feel. It's a lot of people who can't feel. And they can only feel negative. They can only feel hate. They can only that's why even when they joke is negative. Even when they laugh and it sound, unearthly. Like it just weird. Like it's not that. It's because their system is tuned in to negativity. So this is where you get the what is it called? The learned helplessness and all of that. I never will, I never can, it was never meant for me. I've been through all of that stuff, man. I've been through all of it. So I think it's important real fast before I move on to talk about what does disconnection from spirit look like. A total system shutdown is you just not giving a fuck about nothing, right? That I don't give a fuck, I don't care attitude, that's a system shutdown. Not getting up, doing the bare minimum, right? Only washing the dishes that you need, cleaning up once a month, not showering, not brushing your teeth, you know, not taking care of certain, responsibilities and whatnot. That's total disconnection from spirit. You cut off from source. That's a trauma response. Unfortunately, we got thousands of people within our 10-mile radius that operates disconnected from source. No brain heart coherence at all whatsoever. Totally disconnected. This is the people they talk about is the useless eaters, the mouth breathers, right? The people they say is here for nothing, right? The people killing and drugging and all of that stuff. They disconnected. They just trying to feel something like Chris Brown. But they don't know that only thing you got to do is just wait for the next slide and things going to be a little bit better. All right, so if you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. Listen to what he just said. If you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. That's learned helplessness, right? That's, remember what I always say, y'all. You confirm your victimhood, but you never affirm your victoryhood, right? I know what wrong, but let's talk about what's gonna go right. So I was one with my limitations. My limitations was bigger, stronger, faster, louder than me. All my failures, all my anxieties, and I didn't know it wasn't normal. I didn't know that being sad wasn't normal. I didn't even know I was sad. Shit, sometimes now I don't even know if I'm sad, right? If I could be honest. Uh Man, Richard Bach. Richard Bach. Shout out to Richard Bach. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am? Right? And then you be sitting back arguing with yourself. Am I ugly? Am I fat? Am I this? Am I that? Whole time, only thing you got to do is just stand up to yourself and say, no, I'm not. But you arguing with yourself about the things that you limited about. How about you focus on the things that make you good, make you better? All right. So we're going to talk about 10 ways to activate your inner power plant. All right. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So we have method and power plant effect. All right. So number one, meditation is the generator's reset. Withdrawing from the senses, detaching from emotions, etc., 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 is a quick way to reset. There's a million different ways that you can meditate, literally, but the key thing, and I'm gonna have to get into that Bhagavad Gita, right? Because in the Bhagavad Gita, he say, I never mind, because it's a long story. But long story short, he asks him, "How can I be a devotee?" Right? And he said, everything that you do can be devoted to God. Whether you eating, sleeping, only thing you got to do is be intentional. So when you say, I'm about to walk to the store, say, I'm about to walk to the store and my highest good, for my highest good, or whatever, right? And man, all right, let's go. Let's go. Affirmations, right? That's the voltage tuning. All right. So whenever you feeling low, whenever you don't know what to go, where to go, what to do, tap into your affirmations. Read them, write them down, say them out loud, recite them while you getting up and moving. Right? Gratitude is the frequency amplifier. A lot of people culturally associate um gratitude with love, and the reason why is because it kind of has a similar effect on the body. So a lot of times you can just be grateful for things. Oh, I'm so happy to be on this live, right? Or you could say, I love this live, right? And it can kind of give you a similar effect, okay? But you can kind of play around and see which ones work for you better, all right? But inspire action. Inspire action is the power line ignition. So when you have a thought, an idea, and you feel motivated to do so, and you get up and you be brave and do it, not be fearful and tone out and do it, but you actively say, right? Fool card, right? I am going to get up and go and to the gym, and I'm going to have the best day of my life at the gym, right? What that's going to do is basically going to like light a fire under your beep. You know what I'm saying? That's going to get the current flowing. Whatever little currents you have, whatever currents is running, right? If you can have enough inspired action and you can tap into certain things like your intention and stuff like that, it can override some of the negativity. And as long as you continuously tap into this energy, it's going to permanent, well, I won't say permanently, but it's going to be so strong that your default frequency is going to be the one that you want. All right. So grounding or earthing. Okay. So it's the same thing as electricity flowing through the body. It's the same thing as electricity flowing through your laptop or your, I don't know, refrigerator, right? So if you look at some of the bigger appliances that got the three prongs, we got the in and the out, but we also got the grounding prong at the bottom, right? So the long one at the bottom that's round, that's for grounding. So that's to get rid of the things that we don't want. So in humans, it's the positive, the not the positive, the positive, no, not positrons. Is it positrons? Because our human body, our aura, and everything like that, we need electrons is actually positive for us. So the positive ones, whatever they call positrons or whatever, they actually negative. So we release those through grounding and stuff like that. All right. So different ways you can ground. You can stick your feet in the dirt, in the grass. Even if you got a concrete floor in the basement, as long as it don't got certain types of sealers on there, you can ground in the basement. You don't have to go outside. Some types of wooden floors you can ground on in a house, but a lot of it's like processed fake wood, or it got like certain types of chemicals that that don't allow energy to flow. But hugging trees, um, taking like baths with like Epsom salt, making like highly alkaline baths and stuff like that, Epsom salt and sea salt and all that stuff. That's a great way to ground. You can go on Amazon to get a grounding mat. If you don't want to go outside and dance with the ants, you can go on Amazon to get a grounding mat. They fairly cheap. I definitely can vouch for mine. It definitely worked for sure. Uh, where we at on this list? Number one. But yeah, grounding is the stabilizer. All right, the grounding is what's going to keep you stable. All right, this is why they say you got to get grounded. What they saying is you just got to be balanced and stable. That's all they saying. All right, so visualization. All right, now this is This is where a lot of people lack. This is where a lot of people lack with the visualizations. In the Bible, it says, "My people lack for a lack of knowledge and a lack of vision." All right. So tapping into the vision is being able to tap it. Oh my God. I didn't even realize that this was here. The blueprint mapping. This is confirmation. All right. Anyways, yeah, I wish I can say this on live. I'm not gonna say it on live. But yeah, this is crazy. This is a major. I didn't even realize that earlier when I was putting this together. But visualization, intentionally visualizing. Even if you close your eyes and picture an apple, right? Picture yourself grabbing the apple off the table and biting it, and even making the motions with your hand and mouth as if you biting the apple, right? Uh, what it's going to do is stimulate your imagination. And remember, the imagination is the key to this whole manifestation thing, right? Being able to imagine something is the key. All right. I know you probably thought I was going to say something there, but no, just reiterating the same thing. Energy clearing. Okay, so energy clearing can be a part of grounding, but again, being very, very, very intentional about energy clearing. You don't have to do certain things. The energy clearing is really, really, really mostly for emotional stuff, right? Being able to, have your resonant frequency one of positive emotions. And maybe I'm gonna do the emotional scale too. I definitely got to tap into the emotional scale. Journaling. Journaling, scribing is not only a great way to balance the internal diagnostic system, as it says. But journaling, just in general, is a great way for you to open up and to clear energy, right? Journaling is something that allows you to look at yourself objectively versus subjectively, right? And I'm not going to get too deep into that, but is you looking at yourself as if somebody on the outside would see you, or someone who is like a doctor, somebody who don't have a dog in a fight, right? um so let's go to shadow work. Okay, now there's a million different ways you can do shadow work. If anybody got any questions about shadow work, I definitely got a couple techniques that has proved to be very effective, and not just myself, but in plenty other people as well. Give me 1 second, y'all. I don't see no hearts in the chat. Wait, what's sacred? I'll be calling you coach, but I'm gonna change it to chef because you be cooking sacred food for the sacred soul. I ain't even see that. I ain't even realize you said that. I appreciate that. That's funny. But shit, let me know. I don't even. What made you say that though? Time stamp it. All right, shadow work. So again, shadow work is going to aid you in being able to look at yourself again subjectively versus objectively. Um, do I want to? Nah, I'm gonna leave that at that. I'm gonna continue. We almost done. We almost over with y'all. We got about 20 more slides. All right, so surrendering. Ooh, this is a deep one. Divine override switch. Surrender. Um, I feel like I don't really need to say much about this though, right? But sometimes All right, I'm gonna say what what I was saying to myself when I was making this. So sometimes being in control ain't always a good thing. And the reason why I say that is because based off of what we read here earlier, if you got some things that's out of whack within you, being in control will definitely cause destruction, right? Um, they say great information in the hands of fools is very dangerous, right? Very dangerous. Why? Because you can't trust them with the right intentions. This is why you have 50-year-old presidents, 50-year-old and up presidents, right? It's to show that wisdom is needed for guidance, right? Wisdom. Ooh, that sounds crazy. Wisdom is needed for direction. I don't know what else to say. All right, so one of the last quotes, if not the last quote here, is from your boy Oprah Winfrey. I'm just playing. Oprah Winfrey says, "You get in life what you have the courage to ask for." Hmm. You get in life what you have the courage to ask for. Talk to him, Oprah. I said, talk to him, Oprah. Right? Ooh, kill him. Ooh, kill him. All right, we almost out of here, y'all. All right, so the final message. All right, final message. You are the power plant. You are the light. You are the divine design wired to manifest miracles. Your intentions are not empty wishes, they are sacred blueprints sent from the unseen to the seen. Speak them, believe them, embody them. What you seek is not ahead of you, it is within you, vibrating, waiting, watching for you to rise and match it. You are not late, you are not lacking. You are already aligned. Now let there be manifestation. Listen, take a second, write this down, recite this every single day. Make if you don't got a morning prayer, make this your morning prayer, right? Put it on your mirror. Let everybody in your house read this. You understand what I'm saying? This final message right here wasn't meant or intended for just to be here on the slide. This final message was meant to be prophetic in nature. And the best way to create the life you want to live, I mean, the I'm sorry, what was that they said? The best way to what? Let me go back because I was about to confuse it. The best way to predict the life you want to live is to create it. But I was about to say this other quote that was here. Where is it at? Oh no, I done messed up the quote. Dang. Well, anyways, you know what I was trying to say. Whatever you can do or dream, you can begin it. Boldness has genius. Hold on, move the thing in the way. All right, there you go. The boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. John Wolfgang Van Gogh. All right, you are the power plant. You are the light. You are the divine design wired to manifest miracles. Your intentions are not empty wishes. They are sacred blueprints sent from the unseen to the seen. Speak them, believe them, embody them. What you seek is not ahead of you. It is within you, vibrating, waiting, watching for you to rise and match it. You are not late. You are not lacking. Not at all. You are already aligned. Now let there be manifestation. Talk to yourself when you say this. Yourself gonna respond. Trust me. Yourself gonna respond. Now I really want to know the quote now. Oh, it's right here. You get in life. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. All right. You get in life what you have the courage to ask for. This was the quote I was trying to say, but I was confusing it with my favorite quote, which is the best way to predict the future is to create the future. All right. So, man, that's it. I see people leaving already. The credits ain't even started rolling yet. It's cool. Shout out to the set. So yeah, so definitely be expecting part two, three. Definitely part two for sure. Maybe a part three just because so much stuff was left out of here. I thought this was a different version, but I should have went ahead and did what I was supposed to do. But it is what it is, man. So all right, so before y'all wait, lock the doors. Lock the doors. We gotta go of $40. All right. So before y'all leave, I need everybody. See, it's two of y'all in here, so I need everybody to put $20 into the collection. Wait, I got all night. Hmm. But yeah, though, man. Let me go back and check the chat and see what's going on. All right. So I was gonna come back with part two of this, which is the new covenant, where I really got a love hate relationship with the Bible, but I can't deny that it's packed with some cold science. Oh, I cannot deny it. So with that being said, I want to have an episode. Please don't wait on you for what? Oh no, ain't nobody leaving. Oh yeah, ain't nobody waiting on you. We all stand. Are you confused? All right. So I wanted to have part two, the new covenant, right? Where hmm. Okay, so in the new covenant, one thing that it talk about is basically being an energetic match for what you want, right? Um, but the new covenant is all about you making a promise to yourself. And without getting so deep into it, man, I'm definitely gonna stop right there because I don't want to ruin the surprise. But yeah, I will make this announcement though, even though it didn't make it in the slides. We are going to do a 22-day manifestation challenge. All right. So be on the lookout for that announcement tomorrow. uh it's going to be very interactive, to say the least. It's going to be very interactive, right? Because remember, um when you're priming yourself to create the life you want, it's not a passive thing. Even once you create it, it's not passive. So just getting yourself ready, you got to take this serious, man. And you know what they say, how you practice is how you play in the game. So a lot of people don't even make it to the game because they don't practice. You don't make it to practice, you can't play in the game. That's the rules. All right, y'all. So I hope y'all got your pajamas and everything on, your little house shoes. Huh. I'm waiting on this cash app to ring. You sound about crazy. You lucky because I was gonna do the $40,000 goal, but but I just do the $40 goal. Somebody sent Chef. Oh, you just gave me an idea. Thank you. Oh man. Oh, I just got the coldest idea. Mm. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be fire. I'm about to tap into my minister Jew. I'm about to tap into my minister Jew. Shout out to the minister, man. Shout out to Noble and Pooh. All right, y'all. So we can definitely if y'all are down, we can definitely come back for an after party, but I want to go ahead and leave this where it's at. I don't want to I don't want to stress this out too much because there's so much more. But for real, what I really want to do, I want to do a whole presentation off of every slide. For real. That's what I really want to do. I don't really like doing essays and stuff like that. But this, if I can get back in the habit of doing this, oh man. Mm-mm. I used to be the PowerPoint king. Mm, all right, y'all, man. I'm about to snack on something. We can definitely come back for the after party if y'all want. But with that being said, if you know what I'm about to say it with me. Man, this little candy good. You probably was like $2. No, they two for $2. Oh, okay, that ain't that bad. Man, these little gummies good. They got foreign flavors and everything. And they only got like 10 ingredients. They got a whole lot of dye though. What is carnauba wax? I ain't never heard of that. All right, y'all. Peace, love, health, and wealth. Anything else, put it back on the shelf. Why? Because I ain't buying it. This has been another episode of Removing Manifestation Blockages. This episode was brought to you by the letter P. Mhm. I'm about to listen to that pushing P. Pushing P. I'm about to listen to that. All right, y'all. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be of service to you all. Um, I wouldn't rather be nowhere else but here, man. This is what growth look like. Being able to sit here and get fried and share with y'all some of the things that help me get through the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can, man, what? If I can make money from this? Come on now, cuz. I don't think I gotta do what? Come on now, cuz. Don't play with me. It ain't even about the money, but we need money to survive. So why not make money by doing something that I love? It's a lot of people that don't believe. Look, I only had this channel for less than 2 years, man. It's been a lot of people who didn't believe in me. It's a lot of people who didn't believe me, man. But it's cool. They'll come back around one day. But yeah, that's just a fart from the heart. Uh, Again, my name is not important. My face, none of that. I don't give a fuck. But what is important is I'm here on behalf of Sacred Self Healing Center, where the heart is the center for healing. Remember, when you come here, this is spa day for the soul, chicken noodle soup for the spirit, mani and petty for the ego. All right. And remember, the ego goes wherever we go. So, again, peace, love, health, and wealth. Anything else, put it back on the shelf. Why? Because I ain't buying it. Peace. Bye boy. I know who that is now. That's Mickey Mouse. I've been doing Mickey Mouse all the time and I didn't even know it. I need to go brush up on that because I'm rusty. Bye boy.